there are moments in life when everything feels uncertain, when the ground beneath your feet seems to shift and the answers you once relied on no longer satisfy your soul. It is in those moments that something deeper is taking place, something you cannot yet see, but something that is preparing you for what is ahead. When God is about to give you something big, He does not always announce it with comfort. Often, He begins with silence, with waiting, with a stretching of your faith that forces you to rely not on what you feel, but on what you know to be true. You may find yourself in a season where doors are closing instead of opening. Opportunities you expected suddenly disappear. Plans you carefully built begin to unravel. And in the middle of it all, you start to question whether you are moving in the right direction at all. But what you must understand is this: delay is not denial. What feels like a setback is often a setup. What feels like emptiness is often preparation. Because before something great is placed in your hands, your heart must be ready to carry it. God works in ways that are not always visible. He is shaping your character when no one is watching. He is strengthening your patience when you feel like giving up. He is teaching you to trust Him, not just when things are easy, but when everything around you seems to contradict your faith. And it is in that process that you are being transformed, not just for what you are asking for, but for something far greater than you imagined. Sometimes the greatest blessing is not what you receive, but who you become in the process of waiting for it. Because if you were given everything you asked for without preparation, it might overwhelm you. It might break you. But when you are refined through trials, when you learn endurance, when you develop a steady and unshakable faith, then you are able to receive what is coming with strength, with wisdom, and with humility. There is a reason the waiting feels so heavy. There is a reason the journey feels long. It is because something significant is on the other side of it. The greater the calling, the deeper the preparation. The bigger the blessing, the longer the process. And while it may feel like nothing is happening, everything is happening. Every moment of uncertainty is building something within you that you will need when that door finally opens. You must resist the temptation to give up in the middle of the process. That is where many people lose what was meant for them, not because it wasn't prepared, but because they stopped believing before it arrived. They allowed frustration to replace faith. They allowed doubt to silence hope. But you cannot afford to let your emotions dictate your trust. You cannot measure God's faithfulness by your current circumstances. You must hold on, even when it does not make sense, even when you cannot see the outcome. There will be times when you feel alone, when it seems like your prayers are going unanswered. But silence does not mean absence. Just because you do not hear a response does not mean that nothing is being done. Some of the most powerful movements in your life are happening behind the scenes, in ways you cannot yet understand. God is aligning things, arranging situations, and preparing people that will play a role in what is coming next for you. And when the time is right, it will not require you to force anything. What is meant for you will come in a way that is clear, undeniable, and perfectly timed. Doors will open that no one can shut. Opportunities will appear that you could not have created on your own. And you will realize that every moment of waiting, every tear, every prayer, every struggle, it was all leading to that moment. But until that moment comes, you must remain faithful. Stay grounded in your belief. Continue to move forward, even if the steps are small. Continue to trust, even when it is difficult. Because faith is not about having all the answers, it is about holding on when you don't. It is about choosing to believe that something greater is ahead, even when everything around you suggests otherwise. Do not compare your journey to someone else's. What God is preparing for you is unique to you. The timing, the path, the process, it is all tailored specifically for your life. And just because someone else's breakthrough has come does not mean yours is not on the way. Your story is still being written. Your moment is still being prepared. There is a quiet strength that develops in those who choose to trust through uncertainty. It is not loud, it is not boastful, but it is powerful. It is the kind of strength that allows you to stand firm when everything else is shaking. It is the kind of strength that carries you through seasons that would have once broken you. And that strength is what will sustain you when the blessing arrives. Because what is coming will require more of you. It will require responsibility, wisdom, and a deeper level of faith. And that is why this process matters so much. You are not just waiting for something to happen, you are becoming someone who is ready for it. So if you are in a season where things feel unclear, where progress seems slow, where answers seem distant, do not lose heart. This may very well be the moment before everything changes. This may be the season where the foundation is being laid for something extraordinary. And while you may not see it now, one day you will look back and understand why it had to happen this way. Trust the process, even when it is uncomfortable. Trust the timing, even when it feels delayed. Trust that what is being prepared for you is worth every moment of waiting. And hold on to the quiet assurance that when God is about to give you something big, He first prepares you to receive it in a way that will not only bless your life, but sustain it for years to come. There are seasons in life when everything around you seems to slow down or even fall apart, and it is in those very moments that something deeper is taking place within you. When something big is being prepared for your life, the process rarely feels comfortable or clear. Instead, it often begins with confusion, with unanswered questions, and with situations that challenge your sense of direction. You may find yourself standing still while others are moving forward, watching doors close that you believed were meant for you, and wondering why the path ahead seems so uncertain. But what feels like stagnation is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are being prepared for something that requires more than what you currently possess. Growth does not happen easily. It is forged in moments of pressure, in times when your patience is tested and your faith is stretched beyond what feels manageable. When everything is going your way, it is easy to feel confident, to believe that you are ready for anything. But true readiness is revealed when things do not go according to plan. It is in the waiting, in the discomfort, and in the silence that your inner strength begins to develop. You are being taught how to stand firm when there is no immediate reward, how to remain faithful when there is no visible progress, and how to trust even when you do not understand. This process is not about denying you what you desire. It is about shaping you into someone who can handle it. If something great were placed in your hands without preparation, it might overwhelm you or even lead you to lose it. There is a weight that comes with significant blessings, a responsibility that requires maturity, discipline, and wisdom. And those qualities cannot be rushed. They are built over time through experiences that challenge you and force you to grow beyond your current limitations. You may feel like you are being held back, but in reality, you are being held in place for a purpose. Every delay is an opportunity for refinement. Every obstacle is a lesson that adds to your strength. Every moment of uncertainty is shaping your ability to endure. The very things you wish would end quickly are the same things that are building the foundation for what is ahead. Without that foundation, what is coming would not last. But with it, you will be able to stand firm no matter what challenges arise in the future. There is also a transformation happening within your mindset. In the beginning, you may have been focused only on the outcome, only on receiving the blessing itself. But as the process continues, your perspective begins to shift. You start to value growth over immediate results. You begin to understand that the journey itself is meaningful, that every step is contributing to something greater than what you can currently see. This shift is crucial because it changes the way you approach not only this season, but every season that follows. Faith becomes more than just a word during this time. It becomes a necessity. It becomes the anchor that keeps you steady when everything else feels uncertain. You learn to rely not on what you see, but on what you believe. You begin to understand that trust is not built in moments of clarity, but in moments of doubt. And as your faith deepens, so does your ability to remain at peace, even when you do not have all the answers. It is important to recognize that this process is unique to you. No one else is walking your exact path, and no one else is being prepared in the exact same way. Comparing your journey to others will only lead to frustration because you are not meant to follow their timeline. What is being prepared for you is specific to your purpose, and the preparation must match the calling. The bigger the responsibility, the more detailed the preparation. The greater the impact, the deeper the refinement. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, when the weight of waiting becomes too heavy to carry. In those moments, it is essential to remind yourself why you started and what you believe is ahead. You must hold on to the truth that this process is not meaningless. It is intentional, it is purposeful, and it is necessary. Every step you take, even the ones that feel small or insignificant, is moving you closer to what is being prepared for you. You are learning resilience in ways you may not even notice at first. Situations that would have once discouraged you no longer have the same power. Challenges that would have caused you to quit now push you to grow stronger. This resilience is one of the greatest gifts of the process because it ensures that when you finally receive what you have been waiting for, you will not be easily shaken. You will have the strength to protect it, the wisdom to manage it, and the endurance to sustain it. Even in the silence, even in the waiting, even in the moments that feel empty, something is being built within you that cannot be taken away. This is the unseen work that prepares you for the visible blessing. And while it may not feel significant now, it will make all the difference when the time comes for everything to fall into place. There are moments in life when it feels as though everything has come to a standstill, when your prayers seem to rise into silence and fall back without an answer. You look around and see no movement, no sign that anything is changing, and it becomes easy to assume that nothing is happening. But what you must understand is that what feels like silence is often a season of divine alignment, a time when things are being arranged in ways you cannot yet perceive. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean progress is not being made. There is a tendency to measure movement by what is visible. We look for open doors, immediate results, and clear signs that confirm we are on the right path. When those things are absent, doubt begins to creep in. You begin to question whether you have made a mistake, whether you are being overlooked, or whether what you are hoping for will ever come to pass. But the truth is that some of the most important work happens beneath the surface, out of sight, beyond your awareness. It is in those unseen places that the pieces of your future are being carefully put together. Divine alignment does not operate according to your sense of urgency. It is not rushed, it is not forced, and it is not dependent on your timeline. It follows a greater order, one that considers every detail, every connection, and every outcome. While you are waiting, there are circumstances being adjusted, people being positioned, and opportunities being prepared that will intersect with your life at exactly the right moment. If even one piece were out of place, the outcome would not be the same. That is why the waiting is necessary. That is why the silence exists. It is not empty, it is intentional. You may not realize it, but there are things being protected from you as much as things being prepared for you. If certain doors were to open too soon, you might step into situations that are not meant for you. If certain opportunities came before their time, they might lead you away from what is truly aligned with your purpose. What feels like delay is often protection, a way of keeping you on the path that leads to something far greater than what you might settle for in a moment of impatience. There is also the matter of timing with other people. Not everything you are meant to experience will happen in isolation. There are individuals whose paths must align with yours, whose journeys must reach a certain point before they intersect with yours. While you are waiting, they are also being prepared. Their experiences, their growth, and their timing are all part of a larger picture that you cannot fully see. When the moment comes, it will not feel forced or uncertain. It will feel natural, as though everything has come together in a way that could not have been orchestrated by human effort alone. In these seasons, your role is not to control the outcome, but to remain faithful in the process. It is to continue showing up, to continue believing, and to continue trusting that there is a purpose behind what you cannot understand. This kind of trust is not easy, especially when there are no visible signs to support it. But it is in these very moments that your faith is deepened and strengthened. You learn to rely on something greater than your own understanding, something that does not change even when your circumstances do. There is a quiet work happening in the background of your life, one that does not demand attention but carries great significance. It is the work of alignment, of bringing together all the elements that will eventually lead to a breakthrough. You may not hear it, you may not see it, but it is happening nonetheless. Every delay, every pause, every moment of stillness is contributing to this process. Nothing is wasted, nothing is without purpose. It is important to resist the urge to force things into place. When you try to make something happen before it's time, you disrupt the natural flow of alignment. You may achieve temporary results, but they will not carry the same depth, the same stability, or the same sense of rightness as something that unfolds in its proper time. True alignment does not require struggle in the way that forced outcomes do. When things come together as they are meant to, there is a sense of clarity and peace that accompanies them. You are not forgotten in this process. You are not overlooked. Every detail of your life is known, every desire of your heart is seen, and every step you take is part of a greater plan. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, everything is being orchestrated with precision and care. The silence is not an absence of action, it is a different kind of action, one that operates beyond what you can immediately perceive. As you move through this season, it becomes essential to guard your mindset. Do not allow doubt to take root simply because you do not have answers. Do not let impatience lead you to conclusions that are not grounded in truth. Instead, choose to believe that there is a purpose behind the stillness, that there is meaning in the waiting, and that there is a greater design unfolding in your life. When the moment of alignment finally arrives, it will not be confusing or uncertain. It will be clear, undeniable, and timely. The pieces will come together in a way that makes sense, even if the journey leading up to it did not. And you will begin to see that every moment of silence, every delay, and every unanswered question was part of a process that was working in your favor. All along there is a natural tendency to focus on the outcome, to fix your attention on the blessing itself and imagine how your life will change once you finally receive what you have been waiting for. You picture the relief, the joy, the sense of arrival that comes with it. But what is often overlooked is that the true value of the journey lies not only in what you receive, but in who you become along the way. Because if the external reward comes without internal growth, it may not last, and it may not fulfill you in the way you expect. The process of becoming is often slow and uncomfortable. It requires you to confront parts of yourself that you might prefer to ignore. It challenges your habits, your mindset, and your level of discipline. It pushes you beyond what feels familiar and forces you to grow into a version of yourself that is capable of handling more responsibility, more influence, and more opportunity. This kind of growth does not happen overnight, and it does not happen without effort. It is shaped through experiences that stretch you, refine you, and strengthen you from within. One of the most important qualities developed during this journey is endurance. Endurance is what allows you to keep moving forward when progress is not immediately visible. It is what sustains you when motivation fades and when the initial excitement of your vision begins to wear off. Without endurance, it becomes easy to give up when things become difficult. But when endurance is developed, you gain the ability to remain steady, to stay committed, and to continue pursuing what you believe in regardless of the obstacles that arise. Alongside endurance comes the development of character. Character is not formed in moments of ease, but in moments of challenge. It is revealed in how you respond when things do not go your way, when you are faced with disappointment, or when you are tempted to take shortcuts. True character is built when you choose integrity over convenience, when you remain honest even when it is difficult, and when you stay committed to your values regardless of the circumstances. These are the qualities that will sustain you once you receive what you have been preparing for. Trust also deepens in a profound way during this process. At the beginning, trust may be based on expectation, on the belief that things will work out according to your plan. But as you move through seasons of uncertainty, that trust begins to shift. It becomes less about outcomes and more about assurance. You begin to trust not because you know what will happen, but because you believe that whatever happens will serve a greater purpose. This kind of trust is unshakable because it is not dependent on circumstances. It is rooted in something far deeper. Another important transformation that takes place is the shift in perspective. Early on, it is easy to measure success by visible results, by milestones that can be seen and celebrated. But as you grow, your understanding of success begins to evolve. You start to recognize the value of patience, the importance of consistency, and the significance of small, steady progress. You begin to appreciate the lessons learned along the way, understanding that they are just as important as the destination itself. Humility is also cultivated through this journey. When you go through seasons of waiting and uncertainty, you are reminded that you do not control everything. You learn to rely on guidance beyond your own understanding, and you develop a sense of gratitude for every step forward, no matter how small. This humility keeps you grounded, ensuring that when success comes, it does not lead to pride or a sense of entitlement. Instead, it leads to a deeper appreciation for the process and a greater awareness of the effort it took to get there. There is also a strengthening of wisdom that cannot be overlooked. Wisdom is gained through experience, through reflection, and through learning from both successes and failures. It allows you to make better decisions, to recognize opportunities, and to navigate challenges with greater clarity. Without this wisdom, it becomes easy to mismanage what you receive. But with it, you are able to steward your blessings in a way that allows them to grow and have a lasting impact. As you continue through this process, you begin to realize that the journey itself is preparing you for more than just a single moment of success. It is equipping you for a lifetime of growth, responsibility, and purpose. The lessons you learn, the strength you build, and the character you develop will continue to serve you long after you receive what you have been waiting for. They become a part of who you are, shaping the way you approach every opportunity and every challenge that comes your way. When the time finally comes and you receive what you have been preparing for, you will not be the same person who first desired it. You will be stronger, wiser, more patient, and more grounded. You will have a deeper understanding of what it means to persevere, to trust, and to remain faithful through uncertainty. And it is this transformation that ensures not only that you can receive the blessing, but that you can sustain it, grow it, and use it in a way that reflects the depth of the journey that brought you there. There comes a moment when everything you have been through begins to make sense, when the waiting, the silence, the struggles, and the unanswered questions all come together into a clear and powerful realization that nothing was wasted. Every delay had a purpose, every closed door was protection, and every challenge was shaping you into someone capable of carrying what is now being placed in your hands. You begin to see that what once felt like setbacks were actually steps, carefully designed to lead you exactly where you needed to be. What you are receiving is not just a reward, it is a responsibility, a calling, and a reflection of the growth that has taken place within you. It carries weight, but you are no longer the same person who once doubted whether you could handle it. You have been strengthened in ways you did not even notice at the time. You have developed patience where there was once frustration, faith where there was once fear, and clarity where there was once confusion. And now, you stand in a position where you can not only receive the blessing, but sustain it with wisdom and humility. Looking back, you realize that if things had happened the way you originally wanted, you might not have been ready. You might have rushed into something you were not prepared to handle. But now there is a sense of peace, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing that everything unfolded exactly as it was meant to. The timing, the process, the journey, it was all necessary. And because of that, what you have now carries a deeper meaning, a greater value, and a stronger foundation. As you move forward, you carry with you the lessons that were learned in the waiting. You understand the importance of trust, the power of perseverance, and the value of staying faithful even when you could not see the outcome. These lessons will continue to guide you, ensuring that this is not just a moment of success, but the beginning of something lasting and meaningful. So whatever season you find yourself in, whether you are still waiting or beginning to see things unfold, hold on to the truth that something greater is always at work, even when it is not visible, and trust that when the time is right, everything will come together in a way that is far beyond what you could have imagined. Because what is meant for you will never pass you by, and what is prepared for you will arrive at the perfect time. And when it does, you will understand that it was all worth it.